Welcome to Rom Wills Money Matters. Third space businesses. Now this is connected to what I was talking about on Tuesday about Gen Zers going to the mall. And here's the thing. It's not just that they going to the malls and they checking that out, but those are third spaces. Now what's a third space business? See, understand something, that's a very important concept. Basically, the first space is usually your home. That's your home. That's where you hanging out, you sleeping, wherever you sleeping at, right? The second space is your job. You spending a lot of time there, so your home means your job. The third space is simply where you spending time. It's not home, it's not your job, it's to hang out. Like a third space business is a pub. A third space business is any place other than home or work that you hanging out. Malls are third space businesses. It gives young people a chance just to hang out, just to walk around, check out things and everything. You know, third space businesses are very important because people need them. If you have, say, a restaurant or something, that's a third space business. When you got like these sports pubs and everything, you know, they got all these TVs. Those are third space businesses. You get a lot of people that will hang out at these bars and stuff because it's not home. Yeah, they can watch the game at home. Definitely can't watch it at work, but they can watch it at this pub or something where they can interact with people. Third spaces, that's all it is. A third space for people to hang out, interact, depends on what they want to do. You know, it could be like, I've seen some businesses, like one business that's near me is a pottery place. People can hang out there and do pottery. You know, a gym. Now, you know, I always talk about body game. A gym could be as a third space business. You get a lot of people that hang out there and see it not just as a place to work out, but see it as a community. You know, whatever gym, and I don't care what gym, I've worked in gyms, worked out at gyms. No matter what, it's always people there. They just hanging out. They ain't going in there working out and leaving. At least most of them. You know, most of them are working out. Let me say that correctly. Most of them will work out, but then you still meet people. You still talk to people and everything. You know, you work out, there's everything there, but it's a third space. Any place, and that's something to consider if you want to create a business. Will people hang out here? Is it a community? Like bookstores. I remember one bookstore I would do some book signings at. It was more of a community than anything. It wasn't like some people would come in and out. People would come in there, you know, hang out, talk with the owner and all of that. In fact, that's one of my visions for when I'm even older. Like just be sitting back and dispensing wisdom and stuff in a third space bookstore. You know, people come in there and not just buying books and leaving, but hanging out, you know, everything. Barbershops are third space businesses. If you think about it, many barbershops are communities. People will get to talking about whatever. Many barbershops, hair salons, places like that. Any business where you have a community, any business where you have people hanging out talking, that's a third space. Even if it's a business like a clothing store, shoe store, people coming in, you know, buying stuff real quick, that's a third space because it's not home, it's not your job. When I was talking about malls on Tuesday, those are big third spaces. Those are big, let's just be real. When people go to malls, and what you have increasingly Gen Zers going to malls, they not just going in buying this stuff and leave. That's for some old guys. You know, as old fellas, we go in there, get our stuff and go. We typically aren't hanging out, typically. You know, we go get our stuff, we go. But then you get some older fellas, like I remember when my father had come to town years ago, and he was like, hey, what malls y'all got around here? Third space. See, a third, any place that you can hang out. Think about that as a business. That's a very important business. Like you got coffee shops, cafes, things like that. You know, when think about coffee shops for a second, you got couches, people can hang out. Sometimes people go in there, be getting on their laptops or something. That's a third space. People can hang out, maybe they can meet somebody, something like that. In fact, they set up as a third space. They set up as a place people can hang out, you know, and people need that. Because I'm going to tell you what, okay, you got home. Yeah, you got family and everything, but some people might not have family there because you have an increasing amount of people who living alone, or, you know, at best they might have, you know, they might have some roommates, they might have a living lover or something like that, right? And yeah, they can do some stuff, but then it's only your home. And work, yeah, you get a lot, depending on the job, people might have some fun, but it's still work. A third space, if you have a business that's a third space for people, one, you're doing something good, you're giving them some place to hang out. Two, you get repeat customers. Like if you have a third space, it's a community. Like I remember when I was working at a gym, and I never forget what the assistant manager said. She said, this is a community. People would hang out there. People, you know, they would come in, you know, no matter what. So, I mean, that's very important right there. People look for places that they can go, they can hang out. Sometimes people they'll look for gyms. Like I said, I've worked in gyms, worked out in gyms. And we had some people, they would go and let's just be real. I'll use the gyms for an example. Very important third spaces. People would go and, you know, they would maybe join, you know, check it out for a week or so. The equipment, there's only slight differences in equipment. People go more for the vibe. What kind of vibe is it? What kind of third space is it? You know, bars, coffee shops, wherever. You have an increasing amount of bookstores. I mentioned that the other day. You know, I love bookstores. I love books. I look for places people can hang out in there and stuff. People can sit down, they can look at books. You know, you have some major bookstores, they might have a coffee shop attached to it. And, you know, people get their coffee, read their books, third space. It's very important, very important. People need that, because one of the things people need, they need to socialize. And that's a very important thing. If you have a business where people can socialize, and you know, you keep it clean and you have some food there, you don't even need a lot of food. You can have like just some little muffins and, you know, some coffee, tea, whatever, drinks and whatever. And then they can just sit there and chill out. Trust me, you're going to make some money because people are going to come there. All you have to do is keep it peaceful, keep it clean, you know, keep it fun, have some good music playing probably, or some soft music, something like that. But the whole thing is, it's a third space where people can go. It's not home, it's not work, it's third space, all right? So anyway, I want y'all to think about that. If you're good at that, if you're called, if you're not called to it, I would say this, don't jump into that business if it's not you. If you type of business you don't like dealing with people, because you will be dealing with people, don't do it. But for those of you who like dealing with groups of people and creating a space for them to come, it's the perfect thing, all right? So anyway, that's all I have for today. I'll see y'all next week, okay? So until then, let's go make that money.